Hello, healers and health seekers. It's me, Ichoda, healing with medical medium information for 4 years and 3 months now. It's been a bit, and it's time for What's Up Wednesday, and I forgot to say what I'm healing from or what I have healed from or whatever that I usually do in the spiel, and it's mast cell activation disorder, EDS, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, multiple chemical sensitivity, hypothyroid, migraines, fibromyalgia, arthritis, bursitis, acne, psoriasis, not psoriasis, why did I say that? Acne, eczema, rosacea, that's the word I was looking for because that sounds just like psoriasis. Whatever. Depression, PTSD, anxiety, and a whole host of other symptoms and conditions. If you want to know more about my healing journey, the rabbit hole is in the description box below, and you can go to my blog, which was like the very beginning of it, or you can watch some of my videos or whatever you want to do, but links are in the description box below the video. Today, it's time for What's Up Wednesday. I don't know what day it is, so I don't know if it's Wednesday. I for real don't remember what day it is. It might actually be Wednesday. Probably not when I post this though. So anyway, it's been a minute since I made an update video. So What's Up Wednesday is when I come in here and I make a video and I tell you about my healing journey and talk about what's going on with me. And so much stuff has happened in the past month that I don't even remember what happened. Okay, so where to start or whatever. Anyway, what's been going on? That has made it difficult to make a video. Just like stuff with the garden and the caterpillars. I've been raising monarch caterpillars that I found on the milkweed that I planted earlier this year, and they take up a lot of time and effort. However, they haven't taken up so much of my time and effort lately, but I think I just kind of got out of the habit of making videos. But every day I think about it, I'm always like, oh, I could say this in a video and I could say this in a video, and there's so much to tell you and all this stuff. But then, of course, I sit in front of the camera and my mind goes blank, and I don't keep notes. I mean, I don't like bring notes with me to talk about, so I'll just hope that I remember some stuff. I did hurt my back a couple of weeks ago. Like, I actually got an injury from being in the garden. Oh, okay. What did I do? I was doing a round of the 369 Advanced Cleanse, and for some reason, even though I know and I tell all of you, don't do anything strenuous on day 9, because that's a dumb idea. Because on day 9, you're just drinking juices on the Advanced 369 Cleanse or the original 369 Cleanse. And when you're just drinking juices, you're not really taking calories, and if you're not really taking calories, you don't really have enough fuel in your body to do like exertion type things. That is why we rest on day 9. Also, because we are really cleansing on day 9 and we just need the rest. Our bodies just need to focus on what they're supposed to do. And for some reason, it's like every day 9, something sneaks into my world and is like, oh, but you could just do this thing. And I go against all of my better judgment and I do it. And I messed myself up. Okay, so this last time I did it, I done messed myself up good. I was in the garden. And, you know, the seasons are changing. The leaves are starting to get yellow outside. The plants are winding down as far as like the tomato plants and the pepper plants. And so I was pulling some of the, even though I have them in grow bags, they still get extensive root systems. So I was pulling some of the pepper plants and the tomato plants out of the grow bags. And when I do, I kind of like, I get my fingers under and I loosen them and I shake the soil so that it won't be too strenuous. Like I'm not just yanking them out or something crazy like that. But so I try to like loosen them from the soil and keep the soil that is still good, and just take the roots out and then put them in the compost. And I guess I just was doing it. It was a hot day and I was doing it too long, and it was too much heat and it was too much strain and like you're bending over and straining at the same time, which, by the way, in case you don't know, that in and of itself is a victory check for me, because when I had POTS, oh, did I not say I healed POTS? I healed POTS. Okay. So when I had POTS, that's postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. POTS. It means that you have big blood pressure swings, like from sitting to standing, standing to sitting, and you can pass out and you can faint. And I never did pass out or faint, but I would definitely get really dizzy and nauseated, and have the blood pressure fluctuations. And I had really low blood pressure, and so I was cold a lot, and I couldn't bend over. I couldn't. I would just feel, I probably would faint, but I just didn't do it, so I didn't faint. But I would feel like I was gonna faint if I bent over. I just couldn't bend over. So for a very good long time in my life, my husband had to do all of the things that required bending over. It's like, oh, can you reach that thing on the bottom shelf? I can't do it, like he had to do all that stuff. And so fast forward to now, all healed from that. Have been for a long time using medical medium information, and I'm out in the garden and I'm bending over for a really long time, and it's really hot, and anyway, just not enough fuel, because the juice, it's like you're juicing and juicing it, but it's not like, I feel all this energy on day 9 and I want to do everything, but it's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to rest. And I was like, this isn't strenuous. And then I threw out my back, and I was like, oh, I guess it was. And it's interesting, because when I threw out my back, I didn't know I did, because I was just like, I just sort of felt this little tweak, and I thought, I better stop. It was like a little tweak in my back, and I thought, I should probably stop this right now. So I did, and then I went in and I sat down to rest, because I was like, okay, I really should be resting. And so I sat down to rest, and after I sat down for a little while, I was like, I can't get up. And then kind of for the rest of the day, I couldn't really walk without, like, I'd have to sort of bend over, and so I laid in bed and I iced it and did everything you're supposed to do. So medical medium says for an injury, you want ice at night and heat in the morning. And so I did that. And I laid in bed for the rest of that day, and then for 2 or 3 days after that, because I knew I needed to rest and I should take it easy, but also wanting to get up and do as much as I could too, as far as just like moving it a little bit, so I'm not just sitting there on it. Plus, it was really uncomfortable to be in one position, so I had to change positions a lot, and I also had to pee a lot because it was day 9 and I was juicing, and so I had to get up and I have a chair in this room that has wheels on it. It has casters, and so I would just kind of bend over, because I couldn't stand up all the way, and I had to sort of bend over, and I'd bend over and hold on to the chair and wheel it to the door, and then grip the counter of the bathroom sink to go to get myself to the toilet and go to the bathroom, and then come back. Oh, anyway, I'm fine now. It's fine. It just took a few days, and I was like, okay. It was almost like the powers that be saying, hey, I told you to rest on day 9, and you're not gonna listen. I'm gonna make you do it. My body was like, no, rest. So I rested for 3 days. But I did all the stuff I'm supposed to do, and my body healed, and I'm fine. And I've been out in the garden since, and I've done the same kind of activity since, and I didn't strain myself. So it was just one of those things that happens sometimes. So that was one thing that happened. It's really interesting to me, though, too, how you would think, okay, well, you've got all that downtime. Couldn't you be posting on social media or making a video or something? Well, I couldn't sit up, so couldn't make a video. But no, because it was interesting, because it's all of my body's energy just wanted to go to healing. And so I really couldn't do anything that required a lot of thought processing or definitely nothing physical. And so I couldn't, it's like, no, that wasn't possible. Like I didn't even really look at social media. I would try to, but then it was just like, ugh. It's like I had more brain fog when I was injured. Interesting. So that happened. Another thing, like I said, the seasons are changing. Out my window, I'm looking at one of the trees turning yellow. Muffins wanted to be in the video, so she scratched at the door and said, "Let me in." Okay, as I was saying, my birthday's September 20th, and that was the day the medical medium came out with his new uncensored podcast. And have you listened? So he did the chemtrails one, he did fruit fear, he did the brain meditation, which I'll talk about in a minute. He did the smelly episode about chemical scents and fragrances, which was he's talking about me and my people. And as I said many times when I posted and reposted it, I was like, he is singing the song of my people, because he is, because I am the canary in the coal mine. My people are the canaries. Oh, and he's telling the truth about all of it, like really uncensored truth. And then the most recent one he did was the eggs one. It's been like he's 3 episodes last week, and then he's doing 3 episodes this week. It's like every other day, it's like Christmas. And then he does the lives in between. I'm like, this is awesome. It's so much medical medium stuff, new stuff. Because like I said, I've been following this information for 4 years and 3 months, and I soak up as much of it as I can. I've reread the books multiple times. I have listened to the books, like audiobook I've listened to. I've listened to all of the past podcasts that he did, the radio show that he did before, that used to be on Hay House, and he had archives of it, which is now archived on Apple Podcasts. The uncensored episodes are on Apple Podcasts. The only place you can get uncensored episodes of his stuff is Apple Podcasts, because all the other ones censor them. Even if it seems like the same length, they change them, or they edit out a little bit, or they just do stuff to them, or they buffer them and you can't get the complete episode. It cuts off, like all this kind of weird ways that they censor him, which, that's a whole... I've done a video on trolls, but there's like, I could do a whole video on censoring and the way that they censor all truth. But I'm not going to get fully into that right now. It's ridiculous. So if you haven't listened to the podcast, please go listen. Do yourself a favor, because it is like all good truth. Some of the episodes are kind of heavy, like chemtrails. It's intense, so be warned. He says not for the faint of heart, and I would agree, but I've been kind of aware of this information for quite some time. But he definitely took it to another level and filled in details that I didn't know about. And it's like I follow all this information and I take it all in, but there's always more, and there's always like a deeper level to get to. There's always a deeper level to get to. Every time I go back and I read one of the books, like the first book, I've read it so many times. I don't even know how many times now. I love it so much. And every time I go back to it, it's like I hear something in it that deepens my understanding and enhances the information for me. It's always something new and different. It's kind of like the same way, because this is medical scripture, his books. And it's the same way when people who read the Bible or whatever spiritual books that they hold dear, whatever their version of the Bible is, whenever people read those spiritual books and they go back and they always find something new in it, and something that's profound and helps them deepen their understanding of their own spirituality. Well, it's like that with the medical medium books for me, and many other people who read these books have told me the same thing. So that's why you want to have them, so you can use them as reference books and go back to them and read them again and go, oh, what did he say here about this? Let me go look and look that up, because it's such a lot of information, especially when you have 6 books, it's a lot to just know and understand. And only he has like spirit in his ear, spirit of compassion. So the rest of us have to rely on the books and his information. But these podcasts, he's uncensored podcasts, and he's really going deeper than he ever has before into the mechanisms of like how this stuff happened. And it's incredible. And so the brain meditation, oh, I did a post on Instagram about it because I've been doing it twice a day since it came out, and I do it once at night before bed, and I do that with my son and my husband. And then in the morning when I wake up, I do it before, like I'll have like half my lemon water, do the meditation, have the other half of my lemon water, start my day. My experience with the brain meditation has been different every single time, and I will go into that in another video because I don't want to make this one too long. Okay, so I usually talk about what's been going on with my health, and I did a little bit talking about my back and what I've been eating. And right now I am on, I think it's my 10th round, and I maybe should check that, of the 369 advanced cleanse, but they haven't been consecutive. When I hurt my back, I stopped. So I was doing the cleanse then, but when I hurt my back, I stopped for like a week because I can't start into another round doing the cleanse when I actually cannot prepare my own foods. So anyway, so then I just waited until like a Saturday, I think it was, to start the cleanse again. So I'm on day 5 right now as I'm filming this video of, I think, round 10. And I've been doing the brain meditation with it. So it's hard to know sometimes what stuff is coming up because I'm doing the cleanse again, and what stuff is because of the brain meditation, and maybe it doesn't even really matter, because it sort of seems like the brain meditation does sort of pulls out that fear, and it pulls out, I think, even what caused the fear. So it's very similar to when stuff is detoxing out of the liver, and you're sort of having the memories of it and feeling it and stuff like that. And the reason I am back on the cleanse again is because my body and me are both just so much happier when I do it. I feel better, I have more energy, I just feel more consistent and more level-headed, and even like my mood is better and more level. Although it's weird to say that because it's like emotions do come up, and I do have detox days where I'm just like, I'll have the anger or the fear or the upset and just feel off or whatever, but I know that it's because I'm cleansing. So it doesn't hook me, and I don't get sucked into it usually, and I don't get too invested in those feelings. And then just overall from it, I feel better. Like, weight loss consistently happens, my skin is better, I just have better energy. I just feel so good when I do the cleanse. And when I did have that break of where like I was eating cooked dinner for like a week, like I still kind of did basically the cleanse during the day, but then at night for dinner I would have like a cooked meal, like potatoes. I always had like really simple things because I have to prepare food for my family, and I have to prepare food for me because I'm eating all raw on the cleanse, and I'm eating specifically the cleanse foods. And then I have to prepare on top of that like my family's meals, which are a lot of times cooked. I mean, they drink a lot of smoothies, and they'll have a lot of fruit and stuff like that too, but they're like the dinner and the lunch for both of them, they like to have cooked food. So that's fine, but and then we eat at different times, so it's kind of a lot to get everybody's stuff done. And then so I just kind of am like, I don't want to have to make recipes, so I have like a couple of basic things that I do that are really easy. We should try to keep things a little bit simple because I don't know, my kitchen is not a big kitchen right now. It's this temporary space that I'm doing the best I can with it, but I don't like spending a lot of time in there, so I don't get real inspired to just hang out in there and do stuff. So recipes I kind of save for weekends. Like new recipes or a little bit more involved recipes, that's more of a weekend thing. Why was I talking about that? So when I'm not eating the cleanse foods, that's when I'm eating. Like I'll have a cooked dinner, but I keep it simple. That's what I was saying. Okay. And I notice it. I just notice it. Like when I'm not on the cleanse, I feel so good on the cleanse. And when I'm not on the cleanse, I just notice that my body is just like a little bit less, like a little bit less energy, a little bit more brain fog, a little bit less vitality, a little bit less motivation. Like I don't go into like big symptoms or anything like that, but I just feel like I need to be cleansing right now as much as I can. So, because I feel better when I do. So that's what I'm going to keep doing, because I see all these results. I see all these amazing results, and I just want to keep the momentum going. Even though I am so easily swayed by a potato. I tell you what, like day 3, no, it wasn't day 3, it was day 2. Day 2 of this round of the advanced cleanse, I was craving potatoes so hard. I wanted a cooked meal so bad. And it doesn't help that the seasons are changing, because it's just like, oh, but I want soups and warm things. It's hard. That part's hard. So that day 2 was just, I stood in front of a tray of steamed potatoes. I had steamed some potatoes to make a mac and cheese sauce for my son and my husband. And I was just standing in front of the tray of potatoes like, I could just eat a couple of these. Like, I just, it's only day 2. I could stop the cleanse and I'll just restart it. Like I back and forth in my head. And I was like, how am I going to feel about myself, and how am I going to feel in my body if I do that? And I was like, but I want them. And then I was just like, okay, I got to stop this. And then finally I told, like, I have a couple friends that we have like an ongoing text thread, and we kind of just talk to each other about what's going on every day. And we've done several rounds of the cleanse together, and it's like, but we could just keep talking even when we're not cleansing. So I just texted them in a thread telling them what was going on. Like, I'm really debating eating these, and they were supportive and making suggestions. And then I just was like, I'm just going to go outside and pick some lemon balm for my tea, right? So I went outside and picked some lemon balm. I made tea, and I was like, because they were like, well, are there other cleanse foods you could eat right now? And then if you still want potatoes after that. And I was like, yeah, of course. Like, I could always have apples or like more salad or whatever. But I was like, but that's not what I want. I want the potatoes. Which made me know, like, it wasn't really a hunger thing. It was more of like a feeling and a craving and whatever. So I was like, okay. I went outside, I picked the lemon balm, I got some fresh air in my lungs, and I came back in, I made the lemon balm tea, I drank the lemon balm tea, and I was like, I'm fine. I don't need to have the potatoes. And I went to bed. But sometimes, that's what I'm saying, sometimes with the cleanse, it's like one day at a time, 1 minute at a time, 1 meal at a time, whatever. Like, it's just like, can I do this? Because, look, definitely would not be the worst thing in the world if I had stopped and had potatoes and then restarted the cleanse the next day or whatever. But that's not what I wanted to do. And I was like, okay. And sometimes, yes, it's about honoring your body's needs, but this was not a body need. This was like an emotional kind of like, problem was I had been looking at recipes all day for my husband and son. And I was like, oh, and it just was that. And so the cooked potatoes were like representative of all those recipes that were making me so hungry, or think I was hungry. And once I just sort of like changed venue just a little bit, I just went outside and picked some lemon balm. Then I felt so much better, and I was able to just be like, it's fine. I'll just have my tea, and if I am actually hungry, I'll eat an apple. Because it's like, if you're really hungry, you can eat an apple, right? But if you really are just like, I don't want the apple, then you're not really that hungry. It's like it's not hunger. It's just a desire, like an imagined desire. And I got past it, so that's great. But it's just interesting to watch that whole process and watch it unravel and sort of see and just notice, like, these are the things that can hook you. Like, you can think like, oh, my body wants this, like it needs it, and it's like, no, it doesn't, because what, I could have eaten an apple. If it was hunger, could have had the apple. Anyway. So physically, symptoms. Okay, I have had, I think, yeah, even before I injured my back, I've been having some light, very light shingles symptoms. Symptoms that I know in my body to be shingles, and I know, well, in general, they are shingles symptoms because they're all on the left side. So shingles likes to concentrate on one side or the other, but not always. Sometimes it can be both. And it likes to itch and it likes to burn. And I've had just a light itching, where you just get that spot on your back where you're like, but it's always the same area for me, like constantly. It just doesn't stop. Like right now, I'm just thinking about, I wish I had my back scratcher next to me because I don't. And that had gone away so completely for the longest time, but like, just, there was kind of like an injury that I did to myself a couple months ago, and I think that's where it started. Because that's when it started. There was like a little bit of sciatic pain in my left side, and I noticed it, and it kind of affected my ability to walk and stuff, and I was like, that's weird. I haven't had sciatic pain in quite a long time. I don't even remember when was the last time. So I was like, that's bizarre. I think it was like years ago. But then like ever since then, it's just been like this, just a little bit, just like a little bit of itching and like a little tiny twangs of sciatic pain. And I've had enough of it. I've had enough. I'm like, it's light, but I'm like, that's it. So I switched all my supplements because I had taken the Cleanse to Heal book and I had looked at the supplement protocols, and I kind of took a combination of 3 of them for me, and basically took everything that was in common with the 3, and then maybe a couple of others that were sort of, I felt like, key. So, I mean, that was fine, but I was still having the little bit of just, and I was like, you know what, forget this. I'm gonna just scrap all that. I'm just gonna do straight shingles. That's it. I'm just gonna hit the shingles. I'm not gonna focus on any of these other symptoms. I'm just gonna hit the shingles. I'll worry about the other stuff later once the shingles are down and I'm not having this like little itchiness, because it's amazing how just a little bit of itchiness and then a couple of pain things, but not pain, but like a little bit. It's just irritation. It's like discomfort. But the itchiness is okay. Now, when I was my sickest, I used to have all over body itchiness. It would just itch in random spots everywhere, like a lot on my back, but the bottoms of my feet would itch. Sometimes my fingers would itch. And it would just be in random places throughout my body, like sort of a burning itching, but more itching, but it was like deep, and sometimes I couldn't get to it, and it was because it was like under, when you itch, it's like your skin itches, but it was like under my skin. It was like so itchy. That's gone. And I'm so relieved about that because that was brutal. But this little itching now, it's just like, why? Like, stop it. Why? So I'm just going to hit the shingles, knock it down. And that's another reason that I wanted to go back on the cleanse. I was like, okay, this is going. I've had enough of this. And don't let that deter you if you're new on the path, because here's the thing, healing is not linear. Like, it is just not linear. And what happens is, medical medium says 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. So incrementally, yes, over time, you are feeling better and better and better and better and better. And that's wonderful. And there will be flares along the way. And it could be little flares or big flares. You could have big emotional turbulence and upset and events that happen in your life. There could be losses of friendship, divorces, loss of loved ones, loss of, pets, whatever. Like, jobs, there could be big losses, and those are big traumatic hits. The brain meditation is awesome for that because it helps heal the soul. And those things can really ramp up like the feeding of the pathogens in your body. And I have had, in fact, a traumatic loss a few months ago. And so I could see where my symptoms would be a little bit like feeding on that, because the adrenaline from all of that and just the heartache and the upset and everything, like all those different kinds of adrenaline going through my body, like, yeah, that makes sense. And at the same time, I've seen so much healing still happening that it blows my mind. Like, I did this post on Instagram recently, and I mean, I noticed the difference. I was like, wow, look at my old photos. You know, this was even the before photo was even from one of my videos, which means it was during my healing process and actually well into it. But I had so much stuff going on that it was like, and it always kind of bothered me that it's just like people can't see. Like, I couldn't show before and after pictures. I had done so much healing, so much had happened, but on the outside people couldn't see it because my illness, a lot of it was invisible. Other than this, you know, skin stuff and then my weight, my illness was invisible. So all of the stuff that had healed and all the function that had come back, it's like, you can't really show a before and after picture. I guess I could show a picture in the wheelchair and then a picture of me walking or riding my recumbent bike or something like that. But it didn't show in the way that when I showed the picture of like my skin, once my skin finally healed and I've lost weight, my skin has healed and I look more youthful and I have like an inner glow, and there's just and I'm telling you, like, so much of this came, not all of it. Again, it's just been such a process because there was the Advanced 369 cleanse just kind of like, it just took everything to such another level. I know it was all of the foundation work that I laid for that cleanse to really work that did that. So it's not, I don't know if it would necessarily have the same effect if somebody's like at the beginning of their journey, you know, for it to just be like, whoa, it just blew everything. But maybe, I mean, I don't know because I didn't have the 369 at the beginning, and I don't even think I could have done it at the beginning. Like, I was too brain fogged and just too, like, I could only do what I could do. So I had to go through the process I went through in order to do all the healing I did. But I always wished for that before and after picture. And so recently I got to live the dream of having the before and after picture. And it's not even an after picture, it's a during picture, because I'm still healing and I will continue to, you know, be on this path for my life. This is my life. So who knows what will come. But it's really exciting. It was really exciting to have that and to show that and to then receive the outpouring of love and support that comes from being reposted on the medical medium page. Holy moly. That was, whew. I'm like, y'all are going to give me a big old head because people said the nicest, sweetest, kindest things. And I was just like, whoa. I don't know if I can handle this much love. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny how it can be hard to take in compliments and hard to accept and receive people just genuinely appreciating you? Like, what is that? Why are we so ingrained with that? But man, that was beautiful. I miss you, my healers and health seekers. I've been commenting on, instead of, you know, because I haven't put up any videos, so there's not a lot of comments to answer. A couple new ones, which was really exciting because I was like, oh, I haven't put up videos and I have new comments. That's really cool. But what I have been doing is I have been answering questions and commenting on Medical Medium's videos. Because now he puts stuff on YouTube. He does the YouTube lives. So I've been commenting on the YouTube lives, and I have been, I just like to help. I just like to have people know that, like, there is support and that, you know, we're here and we're real and this community is real and the healing is real and that they can heal. And so as much as I can, I like to answer questions. So I'll go on like his Facebook and I'll answer questions, and I'll go on his YouTube and I'll answer questions. All of my own volition. And just try to let people know that they can heal. That's what I'll do. Anyway, so maybe if you've watched his YouTube lives, you have seen me comment there. I don't know. But anyway, I love you so much, my healers and health seekers. I have missed you. I would love to hear how you're doing. And is anyone doing the 369 cleanse? Have you done the brain meditation? I'm going to do a video about that. I'm going to do a video about my experiences because it's a whole nother video. Have you been watching the podcast? Are you enjoying the podcast? And just tell me what's up with you. Tell me what's been going on. I want to hear it. You know I do. Thank you for watching. I love you so much, my healers and health seekers. I wish you so many blessings on your continued healing journey. And if you like this video, please give a thumbs up below. You can subscribe to the channel by hitting that subscribe button over there. You can ding the bell next to it if you want to be notified when I post new videos. I do recommend that. And the reason that I do is because I am so inconsistent and I am a terrible YouTuber because I don't have a consistent upload schedule, but I try. I do my best. We are in a weird situation and it can be hard to find time and space to make videos. And so I do what I can. And the point too is to update on my healing journey and to just, share things I've learned along the way and try to just let other people know that, hey, we're here and there is support and we're all healing alongside each other and you can do this and you can heal. And yeah, always stay curious, my healers and health seekers. I love you. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.